when it comes to the biggest trend that we're seeing as a company, whether it be directly through compliance or from a wider perspective because of AI model validation and massive uptake in AI, is companies taking a look back at their legacy in terms of technology, but not just the physical technology, more the data. It's often said that data is one of the most valuable assets that a company now has. And I think a lot of companies are starting to wake up to the fact that 20, 30, 40 years of legacy data needs to be refined, it needs to be analyzed, it needs to be consolidated if you're then going to go and use it in a complex AI model, or if you want to achieve better compliance. So I think a lot of companies are taking that look back at what they have with a view to tidy it, consolidate it, and refine it for the future.
So for me, there's kind of three big ones. So I think digital assets and digital currencies are really coming into the mainstream, and financial institutions need to get ready for that kind of takeoff. Secondly, AI is still very hot, but the question about AI is how are we going to really deploy meaningful use cases and incorporate them into the institutions and businesses we have today. And then third, and we saw some of that already at Finovate this year, is there's the coming trend of quantum, which has been coming for a long time, but is now starting to pick up pace. And I think that's really one to watch over the course of this year.
Financial promotion in 2025 is a really interesting space. Every financial organization is thinking about it because the regulators have dramatically increased the amount of activity in terms of how they're cracking down on non-compliant promotions. I think as we continue forward in the space of financial promotions, we're going to see a lot of other jurisdictions following suit with what's happening here in the UK. The FCA is really leading the charge, and other regions are noticing and adopting a lot of that themselves.
Everyone's always asking about what are the current trends that are happening within the ID&V space. So there are a few different things. I think the privacy and security piece is probably the largest thing that's happening in our space at the moment. So typically, the older ID&V providers will be verifying documents using people behind the scenes. And I think the world has kind of moved on from a privacy and security point of view where these need to be a tech play only. So I think, from a fraud perspective, that's probably, that privacy security piece is paramount.
So some of the trends we see in gamification is that a lot of users love the idea of having reward-based learning experiences, so getting rewards for learning. We also see that gamification is now mixed in with new experiences like AI to make it more personalized and more contextual to the user. So yeah, gamification is kind of like almost a toolkit now to help engage users with other experiences that we're creating. I think what we'll see is much more intuitive, integrated experiences whereby we use things like gamification inside banking experiences. So you will see kind of merging kind of the front end a lot more with things like gamification. And we see this as a big opportunity for us as well.
I think if we consider trends in the neobanking landscape, it's around the consolidation of the UK success stories into a few firms, the continued growth of them, and almost the acting like traditional banks in the sense that big office space, national TV adverts, with the aim of securing tens of millions of customers, which shows the success of the sector. And then finally, global growth and potentially public listings.